Hey everyone, welcome back to Rachel's Studio, and in today's tutorial we're going to take a look at this little painting that I just finished for a client. It's a commission of this Marmalade kitty, and I thought I had it done, and I sent the final image to the client, and they thought some of the stripes looked too brown and they wanted them to look more orange. So I said no problem, and I am going to show you in today's tutorial how I change those stripes, how I fix them to be a different color entirely. And it is possible to fix watercolor, you guys. So, by the way, while we watch me fix this mistake, if you would like to watch it in real time with full explanation, which ends up being about an hour and a half of footage, you are welcome to join my Patreon so you can watch me explain how I painted this full painting, and you will get instant access to a library of many other paintings in real time, where you also get downloadable traceables, you get reference photo, and you get a supply list. And I'd love for you to join me there. All right, let's get started on this little guy and see what we can do to fix his stripes. The reference photo that I was working from on this kitty was pretty bad. And so the lighting was really bad and I couldn't really see the colors. So I was reading this as a shadow, but really I should have just been reading this little stripe on his face as an orange marking, not a darkened shadow because of a ridge in his fur. Now, keep in mind that if you intend to be able to fix your paintings, you want to use the right materials. And the right materials include Arches cold press 140 pound or some other really good cotton paper that is really easy to erase. And then you also want to make sure you're using watercolor paints that are erasable. That means they're non-staining. And for this mark right here that I am going to work on, I painted it with ultramarine blue and burnt sienna, thank goodness, because those colors are really easy to erase. So let's see how I do that. Now, of course, this painting is completely dry. My little studio assistant here, should I get Kitty? You can be in the video, how about that? And I'm just gonna lighten this dark area and then repaint it with some more orange, pure black. So I'm gonna take my stiff scrubber. This scrubber is a Royal & Langnickel size 2 scrubber. And I'm just gonna scrub lightly and just lighten all the darkest markings. It doesn't have to be completely erased, but just the darkest parts. I'm gonna lighten up and then I'll repaint them in. And I'm really not having to hardly even scrub it all. I'm just kind of dabbing at it with my stiff scrubber. And look how much I was able to erase that back. Now, I'm going to make sure my brush is clean here. And I'm just going to lightly moisten the whole area that I want to repaint in a little bit. Dab at it so that it's just damp, and I'm helping it speed up into the buckling stage, which I talked about the stages of dampness in watercolor paper in my last calico loose tutorial, where I talked about the difference between wet, buckling, and glistening paper and the different things you can do at each stage of moistness on your paper. So be sure to check that out. I'm going to get my silver black velvet size 8 round. And actually, I think first what I need to do is use my soft scrubber, size 10 Royal & Langnickel, and I use that, and I'm going to use it to scrub firmly into my burnt sienna to get a lot of cream consistency paint activated. If you haven't seen my tea, milk, and cream consistency paint video, be sure to check that out. And I'm just going to use this activated creamy paint to paint back in these fairly dark markings. This is already dried a little bit, so I'm going to re-moisten. I don't want my stripes to look pasted on. So I make sure that my paper is a little moist, and then I'm going to go ahead and put these markings back in with some cream consistency paint. And these are much more warm. Less orange, more warm now, aren't they? Carefully look at my reference photo here. Get the general shape of this marking. Paint it back in. And And this is a lot warmer than what's in the reference photo, but the reference photo was taken in bad light. The cat was very backlit, which can make beautiful light, but at the same time, it doesn't show the true colors of his fur, which we definitely want those to be in there. And this all connects to this shadow going down into his face. This is why I like to have paint on my palette, because I can just activate it back to cream consistency very easily with very little scrubbing, and I can do it actually with my silver black velvet, very soft brush. You can mush at it to kind of give it a little bit more of a fur texture there. And now that's a lot warmer than the marking I had before. I like to dot up my fur textures with my fingers to get a more furry edge. Look how much that furred out just from me swiping at it with my fingers. That looks nice. My paper, I dot at it often so that it doesn't look stilted like I painted it on with a brush. So now those markings on his head are a lot more orange and a lot less black looking. So I'll send this picture to my client, see if they like it, and then if they do, I will get it shipped out. By the way, I do have a video that I made about how to ship your art, how to ship prints, how to ship originals, so be sure to check that out. And I hope you enjoyed this little quick tip video. Take care, everybody. Bye.